Here's the answer to day 4, problem 1. Sketch the graph of f of x equals 2 times the cosine of x. So let's evaluate this function at different values of x, starting with using 0 for x. The cosine of 0 is 1, and 2 times 1 is 2. And so 0, 2 is a point on the graph. Next, let's find pi over 2 here on the x-axis and evaluate the cosine of pi over 2. Pi over 2 is at the very top of the unit circle. The cosine of pi over 2 is 0, and so 2 times 0 is 0. That's going to intersect there. For pi, the dot's going to end up being down here. And then here at 3 pi over 2, the point will be here. And then for 2 pi, we're back up here to the start. And so we get this period of the wave function. Going to the left, we can just replicate this pattern. So coming down there, and then down here to the bottom, swing up through this spot, and then coming across and through that spot. And so here is part of the graph of this function. For day 4, problem 2, find the sum of the first 25 terms of this arithmetic sequence. This is an arithmetic sequence because it has a common difference between terms. From here to here, it looks like it's subtracting 10. That's the common difference or rate of change. We can find the sum of 25 terms by going 25 divided by 2 times the first term of negative 10 plus the last term. This pattern here is fairly simple to recognize what's going on. If the first term is negative 10, the second is negative 20, and so on, then the 25th term is going to be negative 250. And so we just need to work this answer out on the calculator. The sum turns out to be negative 3,250. We've been using this formula here for several bellworks now. If you thought about what makes this formula work, if we start with another sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and we wanted to sum up this quickly, notice how if you take the first and last number and add those two together, that creates 11. And then notice if you take the second number and the second from the last number and add together, that makes 11. And then if you take the 3 and the 8 and add those together, that's 11. The 4 and the 7 add up to 11. And then the 5 and the 6 add up to 11. And then you go 11 plus 11, 11 plus like this, and you'd have the answer of 55. Notice that you have 5 11s. When we paired up the number, we had 5 pairs of numbers. There were 10 numbers to begin with. If you divide that by 2, you make 5 pairs of numbers, each pair having the value of 11. That's what's going on here when we used that formula about n divided by 2 times the first term plus the last term. The first term plus the last term corresponds to that idea of pairing the numbers up and the pair being 11, and then multiplying it by half of the number of terms.